All right, Pisces, welcome into your monthly reading for December 2025. So this is going to look at the last month of the year. So we're wrapping it up. How has the year been, right? This is definitely, it's been since November. We had a lot of planets going retrograde last month. So it's kind of like perfect timing that, now we're at the end of the year, kind of looking back to review, where have you been? How far have you come? How are you feeling right now? What's resonating with you? What's not? This has been a time astrologically to really do some deep diving into our hearts, into our soul, to kind of make some pivotal shifts. We're doing a lot of pivots because there's a couple big things, right? We are in the age of Aquarius, which is a time of innovation. It's a time of changing out things that don't serve the greater good or don't serve the greater collective. Aquarius is for the collective. But when you dig down, what's good for yourself, I mean, from a divine perspective, okay, not from an ego perspective, not from your mind, not from your traumatic belief system, okay? This is from our true, authentic self. What's good for our true, authentic self is good for everybody involved, whether it's our personal life, and those waves, okay, when we're living our authentic truth, when we're living in our highest vibration, that's going to ripple out. And that's ultimately going to be what's best for the collective and for the world. And that also reverberates out through the universe. So we're always faced with these pivot points throughout life. The astrology kind of helps to navigate the energy to kind of force us to look within and say, hey, who am I now? Okay. And most of us have changed a lot, have grown, have ascended a lot. So who we are right now is a lot different, especially than we were, even 5 years ago, even maybe a year ago or 20 years ago. And so that means then we have to really look at what is serving us, what's serving our authentic self right now, what things do we need to change, what things do we want to bring in, looking, towards the future. And we want to bring in more things that fulfill us. I think that's a key. So we have the age of Aquarius. We also have Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 7 years. And Uranus, let me see the exact date, when Uranus moves into Gemini. Let's see, 2026. So that's going to be in April, is when Uranus finally fully moves into Gemini and stays in Gemini. But it's been in Taurus the last 7 years. It did kind of pop into Gemini this year for a little bit, but it is in Taurus again right now, and it's retrograde. But that's also been a time of huge blowing up things that we've defined as security or safety, that is built upon ideas, systems, organizations, traditions, or just in general things that where we stand now, or what, again, even before the 7 years, because the 7 years was about really breaking apart foundational structures in regards to our security and our safety and our stability that are based on false ideas, false pretenses. So maybe it's a relationship that we've been in for a long, long time, and it's brought us a false sense of safety and security that really doesn't anymore. That Uranus is coming in to Uranus represents freedom and surprises and shifts and changes, but it's freeing us from the ties that bind us to the old that, again, are not supporting our growth, aren't supporting our evolution. And it's really forcing us, okay? Uranus is forcing you, if you want to or not, even surprisingly, it can be very suddenly, to really be like, oh, wow, like I didn't realize. But it's also the root of Uranus is freedom. So it really is supporting us. It just may pop up in a way that doesn't seem the best sometimes, but it really is. So that's another thing that is going on right now. So these last couple months that Uranus is going to be in Taurus, it's kind of like, okay, you've had 7 years, and now these last couple months are going to be like, we have to finally make the changes. We have to finally see the truth. We have to free ourselves. So that's what's going to be happening, is there's going to be a lot of shifts, a lot of changes, a lot of movement, endings, new beginnings. So wanted to call that out for you, Pisces. And we've also had Neptune. Let's see, Neptune. So in December, Neptune finally does go direct on the 10th. So it has been in retrograde. So that has definitely impacted all my Pisces out there, causing a lot of confusion, causing a lot of distortion a bit. So it's like you're not 100% clear. You think you know, or you think you have ideas, and then they shift radically because all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, that wasn't real. So that Neptune and going direct is really going to help bring some shifts, especially for all of us, but for Pisces out there. And I'm just going to see. And Neptune is in Pisces right now, retrograde. So yes, this has definitely been impacting you big time. Even though Neptune is Pisces' ruling planet, it can also create a lot of, again, pulling up things from the subconscious. It can create some confusion and some distortion a bit. So, especially in retrograde. So going back then to Pisces in general, now I'm trying to find my notes here. So, okay, December for Pisces, this is going to be a big month of focus on your career and work. So, but it's looking really good. It is a pivotal month for that. There is also a focus on like your reputation. So you could get a lot of accolades, recognition for hard work you've put in, especially throughout this year, especially if you're wrapping up like year end. You'll probably have a good review and some good stuff to take from the year. There is something about really looking at your achievements. I do feel like for Pisces, there's going to be a focus on your achievements in a positive way. I feel like you've made a lot of strides from a work perspective. So that's going to be a good energy for you guys. And then with that Neptune stationing direct, it's really going to help your intuition and creativity kind of get a boost. So if you definitely are working on things, or want to work on things, this is going to be a good time, especially after the 10th. But your intuition is going to be kicked up a lot. So definitely take advantage of that. I think you're going to get a lot of like downloads and information. And that's going to really help you move forward, moving into 2026 about what you want to do, what's in your best interest. What is your intuition? This is the time to really use your intuition to start planning or making some decisions. You may have some new opportunities opening up as well with work or career, or just new endeavors that maybe you want to start in 2026. Okay, so that's kind of your general astrology for December. Before I dig into the reading here, definitely, I kind of say this for those of you who are new, but if you are interested in a personal reading with me, you can book one on my website, which is linked below in the description. And what else do we got? We have holiday season coming up, so I just wanted to make sure you go out and check my Etsy shop, because I got a lot of great metaphysical jewelry that I do energy with. So they're all Reiki'd, and they're also, I do some rituals and put them out in the full moonlight. So they are cleansed. They are kind of charged, because they all have their own frequency. So wanted to call that out. And yeah, so good times here. So let's dig into it. So I'm first gonna check into the energy, your past energy influence coming into the month. So you have stepping into power, you are strong beyond measure, and breakthrough, the moon landing. So I feel like you've had some major breakthrough, right? Totally what the card says, but you have. And this has been in the recent past, I feel. There's been some sort of breakthrough of you breaking some sort of boundaries. It could have been like breakthroughs, again, through your work, through some sort of achievements, through some sort of goal you have that you've kind of made a major leap in or jump. But I feel like it's also showing you your power and the abilities you have. And you have the strength to basically do whatever you want to do, create what you want to create. And I do feel like moving forward, there's something about like, it's asking you to step up more into a place of leadership, or kind of stepping up and kind of forging a new path. And you're going to have to do that on your own. And maybe you had other people you used to work with, or other people that were kind of helping you pave the road. But something happened where it's like, maybe the universe is kind of showing you, hey, this is for you to do. Like, this is yours. Like, the world's in your hands, or this goal is now for you to really take and run with. And I feel like maybe you have finally accepted that, or are accepting it now, but there's definitely something here around some sort of path you're trying to forge, and you're being guided. So again, tap into your intuition, because your intuition, like the lantern on this card is actually representing the divine, or your higher self, your intuition that's like lighting the path ahead for you. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands, Four of Cups, 4, 7 of Cups. So fours can be a little bit about like a pause or a standstill and needing to reevaluate. And I think that's what happened in your past here. But there is something, I feel like this is tied, whatever this breakthrough and like this path you're paving is some sort of personal goal, or something you're doing on the side of your work, or maybe it's also about, goals in your personal life, like a house, or like what does that stability look like for you that you want to build. But I definitely, again, it's a breakthrough here, but there is a little bit of the lessons you've learned through this stepping into power. There could have been a little bit of disappointments. There is some other disappointments happening as well in your life that I think you're just having to like accept. And maybe you had a pause again with your goals or something, because you were reevaluating, like, I'm going to have to do this on my own, or what does this look like if I'm doing it on my own? But definitely there's this, it did bring some confusion, like what's going on here with this. It could be also confusion about other people in your life. But I think this Seven of Cups is also saying it's time for you to really make your own decisions, and maybe now you have full control of saying, what is it that I desire this to look like? What do I want my life to look like? Or this path ahead, or this goal, or this, endeavor, or creative hobby, or something you're doing that you now can have full creative control over this. So I think this is kind of, you've already been through this. This is, to me, like the retrograde energy from last month. But let's see where you are now. Fogged in, go slow, take time, and the boundaries. So, going in, we talked a little bit about there's some confusion. I think you're heading into this month still a little, maybe still unclear. I feel like you're continuing to work on something or take steps forward, but I think sometimes there's a little bit of like the unknown of the future here, and like the path ahead's a bit fogged in, but you're still being diligent about putting effort into something or work. But maybe you're not going as fast yet, because I think there's other factors at play that you're trying to figure out. But I also feel like, don't let other people and what other people want, or their input, I think that's slowing you down. Because I think if you didn't have that, other people, in some ways, right, like in the boat, if you have a lot of hands on deck, I mean, it makes things easier and you can, move forward faster. But I think in this situation, because of the fogged in boundaries, what I feel like it's saying is potentially there's too much like input in how you're doing something or what your path looks like ahead. And I do feel like they're holding you back, because I feel like if you just had full reign, full control, just did what you wanted in every given moment. And I also feel like you're getting some insight intuitively about things that you want to go places you want to be, maybe where you want to move, maybe the type of just life that you see for yourself. There could be someone that doesn't see eye to eye to you, and that's, I think, what's creating the confusion too, because you're letting somebody else kind of give you your vision. Like, the vision is theirs, not really yours. And the boundaries piece, I feel like definitely is, you need to kind of put up some boundaries and protect yourself here, because that's going to be a lesson, I think, a big lesson for you, Pisces, right now. Also, Pisces has been in their Saturn return, which is a very karmic energy too. So you've probably been in some sort of karmic situation with Saturn in your sign. And I think one of the lessons that you've been trying to learn, or what Saturn wants you to learn, is about boundaries, about standing up for yourself, making sure that your vision and your dreams are supported, and instead of just someone else always, and that's very narcissistic energy if someone is doing that. But I think that's something for you right now that you need to know and be aware of. So let's get some more. Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, yeah, movement here, and the Lovers. So there is some decision about the direction you're going in your life. So this could be specific. It could be around a move, around a relationship, or just how you are going, the decisions you're going to make about the steps forward for you. Because I do feel like you have a lot of opportunities here. And maybe you're spoiled for choices. Like, you could do a lot of different things. But I do feel like there's a decision you make. But I feel like the direction you go is very important and pivotal. And that's where, going back to, you need to really tap into your intuition right now. Because you could have other people putting a lot of input into the direction or the movement or lack thereof. All right, so let's look at future state, what's coming in. Rainbow blessings. This card has been coming up a lot, which I love. So there is something about December bringing in blessings and miracles, which that is the holiday season. It is the time for blessings and miracles. And then love. So I do feel like you're really primed for some positive shifts in December in regards to love and relationships here. There are some blessings moving forward. So let's get some more info for that. Seven of Wands, Ten of Swords, and Nine of Pentacles. Ooh. So interesting enough, not to like, it may seem like a disconnect here because we have rainbow blessings and love, but I also feel like there's a potential ending here of a relationship. And the Nine of Pentacles can refer to like being single, like you're deciding to be single. There's also the Lovers here to the Ten of Swords. And the Ace of Pentacles. So I do feel like this is opening up an opportunity. There's a new door opening up. There is a lot of resistant energy. So if you are in a current relationship, so again, this is future state. So I do think it's something that this is leaning more towards like people who are in a relationship. But in general, Pisces, there is some sort of ending. You know, maybe it's friendship, maybe it's something like that, but there is an ending here. But there's a lot of resistant energy here, and you always feel like you're climbing up the uphill with this person. Like it's always just a struggle with them, but I think you're really figuring out here what's best for you moving forward. But ultimately for others of you, this is about just like an ending of an internal struggle, an internal resistance to, this is just a frequency, you know, internally. And this has to do with the you know, the ties that have bound us. And I definitely feel like you're making breakthroughs. And you're opening up yourself to receive more energy. And I think part of it, though, the lesson is around boundaries, right? Of really understanding and doing stuff for yourself. And identifying, like, what is it that I want? What are my needs and desires? And really setting those boundaries. And here's where it's like your external world needs to respect those. And they need to also change. And if they're not, there needs to be some consequences on your behalf. So what does that mean? Like if someone's not going to respect your boundaries, it means you need to walk away from them. Like they're not worth your time and energy. But ultimately, this is around you really finding strength and grounding into yourself, finding your authentic self, and really vibrating out and aligning with a life that really aligns with who you are now, if that makes sense. So let's look at the good stuff here. Finding sanctuary, opening your spiritual source, and reflection. So there are some things in your life that are kind of mirroring and reflecting back to you some lessons here. And if you're struggling or feeling a lot of resistance, it's about looking within yourself first and identifying the changes you need to make. And you can't do this with the intention or goal of you're doing this because you want somebody else to change. Or, well, I'm going to do this because, you know, then they'll change. This has to be for yourself. Ultimately, like at the end of the day, you need to really do things no matter what, taking out all these external factors, whether it's a person, a job, you know, just general relationships, because if you change and things fall away, that's just a sign that you're on this new path. You're paving a new path one that's going to align with you more authentically, and ultimately is going to be more happy for you. It's going to be more stable, more successful. And if people fall off, I mean, yes, there's definitely going to be, it's maybe not emotionally easy. There's going to be some disappointments and sadness, but ultimately, like, eventually you're going to start seeing the reason why. And it's like finding your new sanctuary. Like, what is your sanctuary, and creating that in your life? So there's something definitely about home, where your location is, and that's about what's going to feel good for you, not what anyone else says. So we have the Knight of Swords. So I definitely feel like you are going to be getting a lot of motivation and energy fuel to, like, just, this is very fast movement here. And you're riding into something. Like, you're not hesitating anymore. You've got clarity. You've made some decisions. And even though, you know, this is the Knight of Swords, like, flying into battle. And even though, like, whatever he's deciding to go in and fight for himself, or the decision he's made, like, he's not going to let anything deter him. And even though it may be intimidating or scary or unknown of what's going to happen, he's doing it anyways. And I kind of feel like that's where you're going to be at in December. Yeah, strength. The courage to face whatever comes. But now you have this just solid knowing of who you are, a solid knowing of your divine self, and that no matter what you face, you have confidence in yourself, for one, and you're ready to ground in and create some sense of true stability, not in your external world, but internally for yourself. And that's where the boundaries come in, and that's where we're getting out of this confusion or this fogginess. Because if you're grounded, no matter how shaky the ground is around you or what's happening, you're able to approach it in that strong, kind of grounded way. And I feel like, Pisces, this is setting you up moving forward, because, you know, not to be negative, it's just something that we're still in this very conflictual, right, energy resistance in the collective. There's going to be a lot of transformative change still unfolding in the next, you know, the astrologers and the channeling is really saying from 2026 through 2029 is going to be a big couple years of, like, things are going to completely change in the world and how we're living our life. And you're getting prepared. And that's the best thing. Like, if you're prepared, you know, you don't have to, you know, worry, because you're ready, you're set, you're prepared, you got everything you need. The Four of Swords, yeah, this, like, healing. So you're definitely healing. This can also be the card of blessings, which we have blessings coming in. So I almost feel like you're facing some sort, you're seeing it as some sort of difficult challenge ahead that you have to get through, especially if you're making some big decisions for your life or decide to end something. Like, you're kind of preparing that it's not going to be an easy road to get through this. But I feel like as long as you have a steady, you know, like I said, grounded, stable approach, you don't let anyone deter you. You set your boundaries and you just keep moving forward step at a time. Things are going to unfold for you, and I do feel like it's going to bring in blessings faster than you expect. So let's get a couple clarifiers here. What's the Four of Wands, Four of Cups? Yeah, walking away from something. So there's two cards about, like, walking away, ending something here. And there is some disappointment around it that it didn't work out, but I feel like it's for your best good here. Let's see. What's the Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Eight of Swords? So this is like an opportunity that presents itself to help you get unstuck. Because maybe you've been in a situation for some time where it's been stagnant, or you've kind of felt stuck and not sure how you're going to navigate your way out of this. Because I feel like you see yourself, the only way out of this is going to be very difficult. And so the Eight of Swords also is about self-inflicted bondage. So you've tied yourself to something, someone, a situation out of your own ideas that are creating some sort of distortion. Like you think you have to, you've stayed in this because you've talked yourself into that you have to stay, or you're obligated, or you're responsible, or, you know, I don't want to hurt somebody or someone. But that's all about, you've created those false, like, delusions. Let's get one more. Chariot. But it's almost like all of a sudden, it's like you finally realize this. Something happens that you finally are seeing things clearly. And like the fog is lifting. I feel like there's been this fog that's created some sort of illusion about your situation. And you've kind of like believed the illusion. But now December is about, the illusion is clearing. And you're finally realizing, like, whoa, this is not what I thought it was. I thought this, but that's not true. And now I'm seeing, hey, I have the power. I have the opportunities now to kind of take a hold of the reins and like go wherever I want here. What's the Seven of Wands, Ten of Swords? So this could be around a relationship here, with the Empress especially. This is someone, maybe it's a situation for somewhere where you've been with somebody that you really were like, for a long time, like, no, this is my person. Like, I found my soulmate. And maybe you had, again, the illusion around this person that you saw them as this, like, you put them on this pedestal and everything. And then all of a sudden, like, you realize, like, you've been putting this person on a pedestal that didn't, that you shouldn't have, right? Like, they weren't who you thought they were, and things are becoming clear. This can also reference the mother wound. So it could be something that you've, again, tied yourself or this self-bondage to a situation because of your mother wound. And there's some sort of trauma bond here where you're now getting free of this. The Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the Strength card and the Four of Swords. Yeah, you're moving forward. I mean, you got all of this fast-moving energy moving forward. The Knight of Swords, Chariot, Six of Swords. I mean, the Eight of Cups, it's not as fast, but it's movement. You are walking away. But as soon as you make the decision and you take this first step to do it, you got to stay the course and just keep going. But you're flying in to something with your heart. Okay, this Knight of Swords is flying in, going forward, really going for something because this is what's really in his heart. And you are going into, I think, future state. Once you end something, it is going to be like things just get easier. Things get easier. All right, Pisces, interesting here. Thanks for joining in as usual. Just a quick plug. So I'm going to be putting out 2026 yearly forecast. Look for those kind of the end of next month. But we will be diving into the themes of the next year. Also, there's going to be a huge energy astrological event with the Neptune Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, really signifying like a new beginning. This hasn't happened for, I think, some thousands of years. So I'm also going to pull some cards to see how that's going to play out for you. And then I'll be doing an extended option as well, which I will specifically look at your love and romance for next year and your work and career. So don't forget that. But you guys have a great holiday if you celebrate that. And as far as the monthlies, I will see you in the new year. Otherwise, stay connected with the weeklies. Bye for now.